Welcome to Speaking of Service, the podcast that uncovers practical ways to grow service revenue, control costs, and improve customer satisfaction. If you're looking to innovate, gain a competitive edge, or just learn about the latest service trends, you've come to the right place. In today's episode, Chris Wolf, VP of Strategic Partnerships, joins Peter Barry, Product Management Director at Sanomatic, to discuss how the connected data streams from the Sana Trends system provides real value to customers and a new business opportunity for the company.
Welcome back to Speaking of Service. Today, my guest Peter Barry is representing Sanomatic. This is a company from Wisconsin that got its start in the 1940s, welding, grinding, polishing stainless steel equipment for cleaning across the dairy belt of Wisconsin. Well, today they're going across the cloud with software. You might say they're entering the Milky Way. I know that's a terrible pun, but Peter, get me out of this mess. Tell me a little bit about yourself and the company you're here to represent.
Sure. Thanks for having me. So Sanomatic, like you said, started in the 1940s, and we do cleaning equipment for the food, beverage, personal care, pharmaceutical companies today. So that's cleaning in place, or we call it a lot of times CIP, or cleaning out of place equipment. So think about your dishwasher at home. That's automating your cleaning of dishes after your Thanksgiving meal. So we take that and scale it up to a food processing or a pharmaceutical processing facility and automate that, doing away with a lot of the manual labor cleaning processes that they have to endure.
So you make machines that people can bring stuff to clean, but I understand you also make equipment that goes to something that needs to be cleaned and does that cleaning in place. What do these machines look like? How big are they? How would I spot one if I was in a factory?
Yeah, so they're pretty big pieces of equipment. So the dishwasher at home, a piece of equipment like that, and the food processing equipment facility might be 10, 15 feet high, 10, 15 feet long. So obviously, when you're cleaning your dishes at home, it's on a pretty small scale. You think about all the food processing that's going on, in the United States, across the country. There's a lot of production going out there. So they have some pretty large pieces of equipment that are making a lot of volume of whether it's food production or pharmaceutical production. So think of that scaled up in a much larger size.
Well, I'm thinking about the way I load the dishwasher and the way my kids load the dishwasher, very different. I imagine that you have recommendations for people on how to essentially load that dishwasher when they're going to clean something.
We do, yeah, and we try to take away the human error as much as possible. So, like the dishwasher at home, it's automated. It's a fully, you press start and you come back and things are clean and they can be dry from our systems. But we take it a step further as well. So the rack you get at home on your dishwasher, you might fight with your spouse on how to load this or how to load that, or what's the optimal way to load your dishes. We try to take that error out of it, so that we look at the process parts that the food processing facility or the pharmaceutical processing facility is actually using. And then we'll use 3D modeling software to custom design those racks. So if you have a specific part that you're washing, it's going in a specific part. That makes it very repeatable and a validatable process.
But in order to create that repeatable process for a particular customer, you must have to do quite a bit of customization to accommodate the machines that they're using.
We do, yeah. So, no two food processing facilities are the same. Same for pharmaceutical. So we customize to meet the process parts and the room configurations, the layouts. Certain facilities might have constraints on space. They might be retrofitting a plant and adding process production capacity to it. So we might get a odd-shaped layout or some sort of size constraint. So we're doing a lot of customization, both on the application and the actual facility space that's going into.
So when one of your customers kits out one of their facilities with these cleaners, how long are those machines in place? And do they operate usually 24/7, or what's the cycle time?
Yeah, it depends. Some plants are running it 24/7, just daily, day in and out, 3 shifts. Some food processing plants might be running 2 shifts of production, and then they go into a cleaning shift. So 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it really varies, but they are using it quite a bit, usually multiple hours per day, multiple days per week. As far as longevity, we like to think we have some of the better long-lasting equipment in the industry, but you put something in, you can expect 10, 15, 20 years later, as long as you keep it up to date with maintenance and things like that, that it should be working still.
Imagine it's very expensive to build one of these pieces of equipment and deploy it in a factory How do your customers calculate the return on that investment?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we obviously speak to that return on investment with our capital equipment. We understand it's an investment. We have tools. Our sales team has tools to help calculate that investment. We can also come on site ahead of time and watch their manual cleaning processes, and they might be using a certain labor headcount. We look how much water and chemical they're using, how much electricity they're using, and then we paint a picture or a scenario of what would it be like with our equipment. So usually we're saving a lot of labor headcount, a lot of water and chemical, as well as time too. So time is one of the biggest return on investments. If a clean or if a processing facility is cleaning in 8 hours, if our equipment can cut that in half in 4 hours, usually means that they can produce their food 4 more hours, right? So they gain not only on the reduction of the cleaning costs, but the increase in production costs, and that can be pretty substantial these days.
And it sounds like there's an ESG, sustainability aspect to this by using fewer chemicals, better for the environment.
Yep. Yeah. So more often than not, we're always saving a lot of water. That's a lot of water coming in, which is obviously a cost, but also water going out. So depending on what state you're in, the cost of the water treatment oftentimes can be even more than the water coming in. So water, chemical, as you mentioned, as well as electricity, steam heating, things like that as well.
It must be a massive amount of data that you could be pulling off of the machines that you're using, the environments that they're in. What kind of data are your clients interested in coming from you?
Sure. Yeah. So there's the big thing is that these cleaning systems that we produce, there are a lot of regulatory agencies looking at everything from the food plant to the pharmaceutical plant, making sure that the food we eat and the pharmaceuticals we use are safe. So with that, there's a lot of data on the cleaning that needs to be recorded. So things like the time that they clean, the chemical concentrations they use, the temperatures, all of that has to be recorded to make sure that it is appropriate for the cleaning that's going on. So people have done that and do that in various ways, manual, paper records, things like that. But we've developed some software tools to help automate that process so that it is all automatically captured. So we've been doing a lot of automation of the cleaning labor processes over the last couple of decades. And now we're starting to help with the automation of the data recording of that critical cleaning parameters that they have.
So I guess you're moving from a sense of trust me, confidence, this is clean, to now being able to prove for compliance purposes, this is clean. How broad an array of cleanliness standards are there in the food versus the biopharma area?
Sure. Yeah, that's a good question. So we have a saying around here. We like to say that clean enough is not clean. So whether you're in food processing or pharmaceutical, if you look at that process tank or that part, and there, you say clean enough. That's not the right answer. But whether you're in food production or pharmaceutical production, kind of the minimum requirement is obviously a visual clean. If you're seeing your process, whether it's pharmaceutical product or burnt on brownies residue on that piece of tank, that's not clean, right? So visually clean is kind of the first step. On the food side, we did a lot, and there's a lot of regulations around allergens. So allergen testing, dairy, nut allergens, all those kind of things. Food companies will do allergen swabs after they clean to validate that not only it's visually clean, but the allergen residues have gone away. And then as you start to get into the pharmaceutical side, you get into some more biological contamination testing, some more lab-based testing. And at that point, you can really prove that it has been cleaned.
It's mind-blowing to think about the levels of compliance and reporting that's available now with the data that was previously must have been captured manually. I mean, how did you go from making a physical device to becoming a software company?
Yeah, so like any product development, it's customer requests. So we provided the system itself. People were, like you said, either manually paper, someone walking up with a paper chart and recording a temperature gauge way back in the day, to paper records, to starting to do some electronic type data records. And as we got into development, we did some local softwares, so software installed on local computers. We've since transitioned into cloud-based technologies with ThingWorx as part of PTC. And there's been a lot of improvements as we transitioned into the cloud. Not only just general product development improvements that we've added features, but with the cloud connection, a lot of the insights that we gain is because we, as a manufacturer, can help look at their data. From a service side, we know what's going on. We can help answer questions better, and just simple things like email notifications and text notifications that seem very day to day in our personal lives are kind of brand new to a lot of the food processing and pharmaceutical processing. So bringing those features to our customers has been a large joy to us, but also a big improvement to our customers as well.
I'm picturing going from kind of a skunkworks operation where a customer said, hey, would you guys be able to help me get data on this machine? Somebody tinkering, trying to figure out how to answer that client's requirement, and then turning this into a business. Tell me a little bit about that arc and how you created this division.
Yeah, so it started like we said, just kind of from a customer request for more of this. We saw the need for the cloud, looked at different options for us, and spent a lot of time developing it. From what we knew, we kind of had the background of obviously we're cleaning experts, but the cloud technology, the security side, all that was new. So partnering with a company like PTC, developing it off of the tools that they provided, it was really helped to expedite that process for us. And we brought and continue to bring our cleaning expert knowledge. So kind of figuring out what data to grab, we already had a good idea of that. But then, integrating that into the cloud software side was the newness to it. So a lot of work was put on that side of it.
You mentioned in their security, just briefly, I'd imagine you're connecting to really critical machines. Are your clients very concerned about the security that your software might provide, or perhaps risks that it would entail?
Yep. Yeah. There's always really a discussion with the IT group. Usually we get the ear of the process side, and they really like what they see on the product and want it and want to implement it. And then the IT group comes in, and we kind of have a discussion on security. Just how it's connected, what our infrastructure is, how we connect, who we partner with. So after we have the discussions, we bring in PTC as needed for the cloud security side, detailed discussions, things like that. But usually, it's for us, a lot of this right now, at least, is a one-way data transfer. So we're grabbing. Like you said, there's so much data with our systems. We're grabbing that and bringing it and really exposing that to our customers' view and our view. We're not necessarily doing down controls of the equipment, so that helps a lot in making sure our customers are happy and satisfied that, hey, yes, there's always a risk with the internet and cloud connection, but it's mitigated a lot with just a one-way data flow.
Now, we've spoken about your software. We've talked about you providing information to your customers so they can run their equipment more effectively, get back time for their operations, really be able to prove the level of cleanliness of their equipment for compliance purposes. But let me shift the focus a little bit. Are you able to gather data from the machines that you've provided in the field and use any of that information to improve the way you service your clients' premise-based equipment?
Yeah, absolutely. So the core product, the core need for our customers is that cleaning compliance data. But both them and us benefit from all the other data that we gather from it. So it's kind of two groups of that to answer that question. One, on an individual customer side, if our service team comes out for whether it's a unplanned call or a planned preventive maintenance call, being able to go online and see all the whether it's alarms or issues or how that system's been running before we come on site and service it, really helps us just know what to expect when we come on site better, versus without this product, you're kind of walking into just a new environment of who knows what's going on. So on an individual customer basis, I'd say yes, for sure. Stepping back at kind of a higher level on the product development side, our product management and applications teams, just seeing what our customers are doing with our systems, how they use it, what kind of alarms are coming up, what temperatures they're running at on an average for cleaning cycles, things like that. That's really invaluable data for us to help translate into the next product development activity, whether it's a new product or an adjustment to existing products, and just make improvements for the customers in the future.
It's interesting. One of my previous guests was talking about the cost of unused features, where engineers will get together and debate, well, we need this particular feature in this machine, but now the ability to track which features are used has really helped them decide where to take their foot off the gas on features based on utility to the customer. Are you guys in that debate at all?
Yeah, we're starting to see that type of stuff. So I think, as the manufacturer of the equipment, you're very familiar with your products, and you kind of have this, vision for how it's used, and then it gets out in the field and it gets used a completely different way. So yeah, I think that's it's definitely going to be enlightening. And as we go forward with more data sets, we'll get even more information to adjust how we, both physically build the equipment, like you said at the beginning of the podcast here. We still do a lot of grinding and polishing and welding.
Yeah.
So we're still building the physical equipment, but then we do the automation of the equipment and the software side of it now. So it's adjusting not only the physical equipment, but the programming side of it as well.
You must have to be training a whole new generation of users to use your equipment, or training a generation of folks who've been cleaning with your equipment for a long time to use it in different ways. What's the future have to bear for you, and how you'll help enable those users?
Yeah, so I think a lot of the new labor market that's coming in, that a lot of these companies are hiring, are probably wanting and expecting this type of software and features. So hey, I'm starting at this food processing facility, and I'm working with this clean and place system, and who knows what this is. I'm, as a new operator, I'm probably these days more comfortable with logging on the computer and grabbing something versus figuring out this paper record that I'm not sure what happens, or what happens with it. So I think we have the advantage that there's a lot of people out there that know the digital side. So it's really, I think, catching up to that audience, and starting then to create additional tools. Because now our systems are connected and a lot of the data is there. There's opportunities with augmented reality, tying in things like that, for service videos, and things like that as well.
Well, I'm sure a lot of our listeners and the folks who will be joining us at LiveWorks will have a lot of ideas of how you could use augmented reality to improve the use of your equipment, as well as to improve the service of it. I have a very important question to you. Can you help improve the quality I'm getting, the loading of my dishwasher at home?
Well, I probably can't help with that. That's that's something you'll have to figure out on your own.
Uh, well, it's been fascinating hearing about how an 80-year-old company, that makes, real grassroots types of equipment, is now moving into the cyber world and the cloud. Do you have any parting comments for us?
Yeah, we're excited to continue this journey. It's definitely been an interesting transition for our company. So, going from a manufacturing company into now, software on top of that manufacturing. There's a lot of different things to think about, a lot of exciting things to think about. It opens up a really a big service opportunity as well. So we talked a lot about the products. We touched on kind of the service opportunity. But I kind of call the product our virtual boots on the ground.
Mhm.
So our service team, obviously, we can only get so many people flying across the country, and they're a busy group with being booked up. But having this tool that is at my fingertips, that I can go check on systems remotely, I think that opens up a whole branch of new opportunities for the company, and then improvements for our customers as well.
I'm sure there are listeners who are interested in pursuing a path very similar to yours. Is there any big lesson that you learned that you would avoid in the future if you had to do over again? Or is there some piece of advice that you'd give somebody getting started, something you did right that you'd really recommend?
Yeah. So as far as doing right, I think that we had a really good opportunity, because we knew that customer need of data compliance, and we knew that our cleaning site systems provide that data and that they need it. So I think for companies looking to do something similar, a recommendation would be to find that customer need or that pain point, and try to, if you're looking at digital transformation solutions, try to find something that fits that, versus starting on the digital side and trying to go after something without thinking about the customer need first. So that's something I think we got right, and fortunately was kind of put in our lap of data compliance. As far as things not to do, or lessons learned, I just don't underestimate the culture changes that will need to go on within your company. So we're developing this product, but our sales team needs to know and understand it. Our service team needs to be able to speak to it. and frankly, everyone in the company should know and understand about what's going on with it. So there is a broad cultural transformation that needs to occur with these type of products, in addition to the actual development of the product.
So, Peter, let me ask you a question. At some point in time, when you made your first machine smart and connected, you must have had a choice of whether to build a platform from scratch or whether to use a tool like ThingWorx. What made you decide to go the ThingWorx route rather than building something from scratch?
Yeah, great question. So I think the development of a from scratch system would have been probably a much longer development period for us. The ThingWorx platform gave us a nice tool base to start from. So the development of it, but it also is the back end support of it too. So Sanomatic is a manufacturing facility. We don't have ISO data security centers sitting out back behind the manufacturing area. So really having PTC and the security teams and the support teams behind the scenes really lets us focus on the customer viewpoint, the user interface, and the product as a whole, and kind of the rest of it is taken care of. So it really helped expedite the process and kind of lay a good foundation or groundwork for the product.
Does this also improve the total cost of ownership that your customers enjoy from the machines they purchase from you?
Yeah, I think it allows us to offer the product at a better price point overall, because we don't have to have those ISO data security centers and all that back end side. So we're able to partner with PTC and not only offer it at a lower cost, but also as customers are asking for things like single sign-on and different features like that, we don't have to develop those solutions from scratch. We can rely on the PTC team to help offer those products, who are also constantly working on upgrades and new features for us to then offer to our customers.
And I've got to imagine that by improving the availability of your customers' equipment, either through cleaning faster or reducing downtime in other ways, that's also got to be improving their top line.
Yeah, absolutely. So the product, I've mentioned several times, the data around the cleaning system is kind of what the customers are wanting and needing and initially are attracted to. But operational efficiencies, we've built things like OEE tools. I mentioned the email and text notifications. So quality team is typically looking at this clean cycle data before this system is released back to production to make more food process or pharmaceutical process. So just by improving some of the efficiencies there and reducing that time overall from clean or dirty to clean process, they can really gain on a lot of efficiencies as part of using the software.
Have you run into many of your customers who have tried to develop this capability in-house themselves to be able to put monitors on the machines they may have purchased from you, or to develop their own big data or OEE systems instead of using yours?
Yeah, so some customers do have software databases, and they're collecting a lot of process data themselves. That is oftentimes a nice solution. It's a single solution for a lot of their process data. The missed opportunity that a lot of those processes have is our customers doing it for process systems, cleaning systems, and they might not know or be experts at the individual processes. So the benefit of our product is it covers all of the data you'd ever want, and OEE calculations I mentioned and things like that are oftentimes really efficiency gains where our customers are maybe not developing those bells and whistles that we offer.
And does your customer or do you need a lot of IT staff in order to deploy and support this solution?
No, not a huge amount. And again, that's back to using PTC as our backbone, as our foundation. So we're taking care of our product, our environment, the data of our customers, and that. But a lot of the back end structure of IT support, updates, things like that occurs offline with us, and PTC takes care of that.
Well, fantastic. I'm glad we're serving you well. And I can rest easy now when I go take that drink of milk and know that it's been properly cared for in its production and it's safe to drink.
Yep, absolutely.
So, Peter, thanks so much. It's been really fascinating to hear the history of your company and how you're braving the new world with such success. I want to thank everyone for joining us. Speaking of service, have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the Speaking of Service podcast, brought to you by PTC. If you enjoyed this episode, Please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and leave a rating or review. And be sure to check out other episodes to hear new perspectives on improving life for aftermarket professionals, service teams, and the customers they support. If you have a topic of interest or want to provide feedback, email us at speakingofservice@ptc.com or visit us at ptc.com/speakingofservice.